We often imagine mental strength in the wrong way. We think of someone tough, unreadable, almost cold. Someone who never doubts themselves, never breaks down, never loses control. But in real life, the people who are the most mentally strong do not always look like that. Very often they seem calm, quiet, thoughtful, sometimes even sensitive. And that is exactly what makes them so surprising. Because real mental strength is not about feeling nothing. It is about not letting everything you feel control you. In this video, we are going to look at 10 subtle signs that reveal deep mental strength. Signs that most people do not even notice, even though they show an incredible level of emotional maturity. The first sign is that they can tolerate not having all the answers. A lot of people struggle deeply with uncertainty. The moment they do not know something, they want an answer right away. They check their phone. They ask for reassurance. They make a decision too quickly just to get rid of the discomfort. Mentally strong people do something different. They know how to stay in the unknown for a while without falling apart inside. They can say, "I don't know yet," without panicking. They do not need to fill every empty space immediately. That may sound simple, but it is huge. Because accepting uncertainty means refusing to let discomfort decide for you. The second sign is that they truly feel their emotions, but they do not drown in them. They do not pretend to be fine. They do not shut everything off the moment an emotion becomes intense. When they feel sad, frustrated, or hurt, they acknowledge it. They let the emotion move through them instead of building their whole identity around it. They can say to themselves, "Right now, I'm angry," or "This really affects me." And instead of feeding the spiral for hours, they observe, breathe, step back, and then keep moving. That is what real emotional regulation looks like. Not denial, not explosion. Feel it, understand it, move through it. The third sign is that they set boundaries without turning it into drama. Saying no is hard for a lot of people, not because the word itself is difficult, but because they are afraid of disappointing others, looking selfish, or losing connection. Mentally strong people did not necessarily find this easy from the beginning, but they understood something essential. Protecting your peace is not wrong, so they say no more clearly. No long explanations, no endless justifications, no guilt that eats at them for 3 days. They know what they can give and what they cannot. And that clarity changes everything. The fourth sign is that they do not look for approval for every choice they make. There is a difference between asking for advice and asking for permission to exist. A lot of people share their decisions mainly because they want to hear, "Yes, you're doing the right thing. Yes, you're right. Yes, go ahead." Mentally strong people still listen to useful feedback, but they do not confuse outside input with personal validation. They do not treat every decision like a public vote. They know themselves well enough to ask, "Does this feel like me? Does this align with my values?" And very often, that is enough. The fifth sign is that they take responsibility without destroying themselves in the process. When they make a mistake, they do not spend all their time defending themselves. But they also do not turn into a ruthless judge against themselves. They face reality honestly. Yes, they made a mistake. Yes, something needs to be corrected. Yes, sometimes they have to face the consequences. But no, one mistake does not automatically become proof that they are worthless, incapable, or doomed to fail. That is a very powerful distinction, because fragile people often run away from responsibility. And people who are too hard on themselves get crushed under it. Real strength means owning your actions without attacking your own worth. And actually, that is often how you recognize real mental strength. It is quiet. It does not try to impress anyone. You see it in the way someone thinks, in the way they respond, in the relationship they have with themselves when no one is watching. The sixth sign is that they are genuinely happy for other people's success. That sounds simple, but it is not that simple. Seeing someone else move forward can trigger a lot of things: comparison, jealousy, the feeling of falling behind. the fear that you will never get there yourself. Mentally strong people can feel that too. The difference is that they do not let that comparison take over everything. They built their self-worth somewhere other than constant competition. Someone else's success does not automatically become their failure, and that is a strong sign of deep inner security. The seventh sign is that they protect their energy without always explaining themselves. They notice the places, rhythms, and relationships that drain them, and they stop treating that as a small detail. They take distance from things that constantly throw them off. They simplify certain relationships. They create routines that stabilize them. They become more intentional about what they give their attention to. Not because they are running away from life, but because they understand that their mental energy is a precious resource. Not everyone deserves unlimited access to their calm. The eighth sign is that they accept discomfort as a normal part of growth. They do not chase difficulty just to suffer, but they know that growing without discomfort almost never happens. Having a difficult conversation, starting again after failure, staying disciplined when motivation drops, trying something you are not good at yet. All of that is uncomfortable. But instead of backing away every time something feels unpleasant, they tell themselves, "This is hard, so maybe this is where I'm growing." That mindset changes a life. Because when you avoid all discomfort, you become more and more fragile. When you move through it intelligently, you become more stable. The ninth sign is that they know when to ask for help. A lot of people still confuse strength with total self-sufficiency, as if being strong means never needing anyone. But that is not strength. Sometimes it is just fear in disguise. Mentally strong people know how to recognize their limits. They know when they need another perspective, support, or simply space to breathe. Asking for help does not humiliate them, because they are not attached to the image of being invincible. They care more about getting better than about looking strong, and that is real clarity. The last sign is that even after being shaken, they return to themselves. Not instantly, not without pain, not without difficult seasons, but they come back. After disappointment, loss, doubt, or failure, they eventually find their center again. They reconnect with what matters. They rebuild. They breathe differently. They move forward again, maybe more slowly than before, maybe more carefully, but they keep going. That, in the end, is mental strength. Not never falling, but knowing how to return to yourself after the fall. And the good news is that none of this is reserved for a few people who were simply born stronger than everyone else. Mental strength is built in small decisions, in invisible habits, in the moments when you choose to regulate yourself instead of reacting, to respect yourself instead of betraying yourself, to move forward instead of running away. So if you recognized yourself in some of these signs, even a little, take that seriously. Because mental strength is not always loud, but very often it is already there, quietly growing.